Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. Happy hump day. How is everybody doing this morning? For those of you that don't know, I have my Archangel workshop still going. So if you would like to sign up for that, there's a link in my bio. If you want to get an astrology reading, all my stuff is linked in my bio. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, Trish. And good morning, bots. How is everybody doing this morning? All right, guys. So, yes, Tara, rise and shine. We got some energy to talk about. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Greta. How is everyone? Good morning, Daryl. All right, guys, we got some energy to talk about, and I'm going to be talking about also some upcoming energy as well. And I had some dreams that really helped me with the energy, and I also had something that happened this morning that also helped me with the energy that I'll be talking about as well. Good morning, Trish, Vanessa, and Dave. All right, guys, so today we have Mars squaring conjunction, and I feel like I talked about this energy a little bit yesterday, all right? Now, we have a lot of fire energy, and fire energy is action, passion, moving us forward. The sun is in Aries, which is ruled by Mars, and so we're really paying attention to a lot of what Mars is doing. And because Mars is making the square to Uranus, it's about breaking free. It's about saying, I'm no longer going to be chained. And so because Mars is in the sign of Aquarius with Saturn has kind of taken over Aquarius. He's like, hey, Saturn's ruled by the government. So it's like, I got the collective on lockdown. If I got to shut this down again, I will. And so because Saturn's in Aquarius, which has to do with the collective, Mars doesn't want to play nice. Mars is like, you can't tell me what to do. I make my own rules, and so you can't tell me what to do. So this is really like two battles of a god. Yes, it was so intense. So I had this dream last night that I went into this grocery store, and the guy at the front was like, let me see your V card. Let me see your V card. And I was like, no. And I'm going to be careful because the bots are watching me. He was like, let me see your V card. Let me see your V card. Oh my God, my throat. What the heck? And so he was like, let me see your V card. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, no. And so he followed my family like around the store, like asking. And I was like, I finally like left because I didn't have it. And I told him like, look, I don't have it. He's like, well, you can't go shopping for groceries here. So I literally like was outside of the grocery store, like saying to everybody, boycott this restaurant, boycott this market. And like, I was like screaming at the top of my lungs. And that's so much of this Mars squaring Uranus energy and with Saturn, because Saturn's putting restrictions on us, right? All the actions we want to take is like Saturn's like blocking us. And the square over to Uranus is like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And so it's like breaking all the rules that maybe, say, Saturn, the government's been putting on you, or maybe your family structure's been putting on you. And so this morning I had a message from Sumadre, and it was talking about how Lily and Taylor, my two daughters, have been with my ex-husband, because, we share custody, or my was-husband, I should say. And it was funny because she was talking about like, Lily and Taylor wanted to go home with Papa, and, like they were crying because they wanted to go home with Papa, and all of this stuff, right? And so for me, I was like thinking about this energy because Saturn, people that are above you, mom, dads, figures and stuff, right? Honing in on you collectively. So my family's my collective. And so I told her, I go, Mom, like, stop it. Thank you, Christian. I'm like, Mom, stop it. Like, you're living in fear. Like, Papa is like freaking Disneyland. Everyone wants to go home with Papa. You know what I mean? Of course they're going to cry. He's freaking Disneyland. Who doesn't want to go to Disneyland, right? And so really understand, you guys, this energy is very much, people are going to trigger you like so easily, all right? So don't fall into that trap of being triggered. And I'm not going to talk about it today, but I'm also going to be talking about later the spiritual matrix, because I feel like even though we're living in the matrix, there's also a spiritual matrix that has also been formed now, which I'm going to be talking about as well. But not today, because the energy is a little bit too harsh and I don't want to talk about it. But there is a spiritual matrix that is going on. And I was like driving home, flying last night, praying over the collective. And I was like, wow, and I'll give you an example. when I was visiting my beautiful friend Misha, like I was starting to get sick. I'm still kind of fighting it a little bit, and it's a really bad cough, which is very interesting, you guys, because it also is like a really bad like head cold too. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. And so I like prayed over my food, that all the food, because I didn't have any vitamins or anything, I prayed over my food and I said, all the food that is on this plate is going to come into my body and give me the nutrition that I need to help me get this sickness out of me. And I feel like we don't, as a collective, understand spirituality and understand truly how the divine can change anything to work in your favor. Okay. Christian said spiritual matrix is Spantrix. Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, and some people, Patricia, are like, this is sinuses, and I never get sinuses. And so the cough is so bad and the headache's so bad that, and you feel like you're choking. And so it's just very weird. But I wanted to tell you guys, we have this Mars and Saturn conjunction that is coming, okay? It's going to be happening at the beginning of April, and we can already feel it. And the last time that Saturn and Mars had this conjunction is when we went into lockdown, all right? Now, but remember, Mars was on a 2.5-year cycle when he met with the sun in the sky that was in Virgo in 2020, okay? And when Mars is in Virgo, Virgo's about our daily activities, our health, our wellness, what are we doing to take care of ourselves? And so when Mars met with Saturn, we felt blocked. So it blocked us from our daily activities, our health, taking care of ourselves, okay? So now Mars is in a 2.5-year cycle with Libra, all right? So what Libra, with Mars and Libra, what that is about is bringing balance, okay? It's bringing justice. It's bringing people back together, bringing the balance where the scales are off. And because Saturn's in Aquarius, which has to do with the collective and a block, this could be some type of block which has to do with you're not going to bring balance, you're not going to sue the government, you're not going to do this, or it could be something where they shut the country down because there's some type of attack. And so, but I feel with Mars and Libra, it's going to be something where it has to be about bringing the balance, the peace. And I feel like there also could be stuff that comes up in the next 2 weeks in regards to maybe the government, we're finding out something with that's going on in Ukraine, or there's something that's happening in the United States, but we're going to find out about something where Mars brings it up and then Saturn brings the justice to understand that, okay? And I know a lot of like people, a lot of astrologers are like, this is going to be the shutdown again. And I'm like, but you guys got to understand, the shutdown also happened when Mars was in a 2.5-year cycle with Virgo, which has to do with health, daily activities, and that's not where we're at right now. Mars is in a 2.5-year cycle with Libra, which is about bringing balance and justice, which also has to do with relationships as well, because it's in Libra. So relationships might start getting harder as well, okay? Where you feel like you're being blocked from your relationship. And because Saturn is in Aquarius, which is about freedom, you might be feeling blocked by your relationship. You might be feeling like you can't do anything. You might be feeling like you're having to be submissive and stuff like that. Vanessa says dark to light. Yeah. Yes, Trish says we should start talking about this censor-free on Patreon. Yeah, I'm actually going to start a Patreon thanks to my Trish and my bomb squad that I started, Missy's bomb squad. They've been really helping me to do other things like that, but I will start talking it on Patreon. So if you guys want to join me, I really will talk about some of this energy, because as you guys can see, all the bots are watching me. So I can't really be full discovery and full access for you guys to talk to you about exactly what I see. But I do see, you guys, I want to tell you, we are in a spiritual awakening right now. And the thing is with my mom is she taps into, if I could show you guys, I don't know if I have it on here. If I could show you all the text messages she sends me all day, it's about what Ukraine's doing, what your Russia's doing. Everything is about that, right? And so I told her this morning, I was like, Mom, you need to tap out of the fear of trying to control the situation if Blake is a good father or not. I said, Blake's a great father. Scarlett loves him, my oldest daughter, and it's not even her real dad. And I said, Papa is Disneyland, right? And so really, when you start looking at fear in other aspects, like she looks at the fear when it comes to the government, it's reflecting back in her own life of wanting control of her grandkids, wanting control of me. She even said, like, don't you want to come home yet? And I'm like, no, I'm visiting with my friends. You know, I didn't tell her that, but you know what I mean? So if you start focusing on that outside stuff, or if you focus on fear in your own life, it's going to show up in other ways you want to control, okay? So if you're focusing on, say, your health, for example, and you're wanting to control yourself by, like, you know, like me, for example, like eating food that's healthy for me, eating stuff that's good for me, right? Wanting control. You're going to find other areas in your life that you're not in control, all right? So when you release and let go and let God is when you really can come into alignment with yourself and love. And I know this energy is hard, you guys, and I'm not saying it's easy, all right? I'm not saying it's easy. And so really understand that as well. Really understand that as well. And know that people are your teachers in this life to give you the lessons you need to understand who you are and the lessons you want to learn, okay? And I see some of you are like, boundaries, boundaries. Yes, boundaries are good, but you got to understand, am I avoiding learning the lesson? Am I avoiding learning the lesson that I could be learning at this time, right? Now, there was a point when I did have to put up a boundary with my mom because there was some bigger altercation that had happened. I won't talk about it. And so I did have to set that boundary, right? Because it was unhealthy for me and it was unhealthy for my kids. But there's certain boundaries where you have to allow the lessons to trigger you so that you can heal it, so you can experience it, and you can grow spiritually. And so you look at them with a different lens rather than looking at them with judgment, right? You look at them as like, okay, what is the lesson that they're learning? What is the lesson that I'm learning? You stand from the forest, from the trees, and you look down, okay? And that's the beautiful thing. When you can stand from the forest, from the trees, and look down instead of being in the picture, you can see really where this happens for you, okay? So, which is very beautiful, all right? Now, I'm not saying if like someone hits you, you don't put up boundaries. Yes, you put up boundaries. If someone is, you know, cussing you out, emotionally abusing you, yes, put up boundaries, all right? But when they're trying to project onto you, you are having to say, okay, what is the lesson I need to learn here, okay? So that's like the biggest thing possible. So good morning, guys. Awareness and growth. Yeah. And just know that, you guys, like, people trigger us to grow, and thank our teachers, you know, like I do in the morning. Like, I thank God. I'm like, thank you for the lessons I'm learning from my mom, my friends, and everyone around me. Please give me the peace with all the lessons I'm learning today, that I don't cause judgment, right? And when we can start our day off like that, you know, and I did it this morning, and automatically I woke up and my mom like sent me this message, right? And so then I had to go to that place, speak that mantra to myself of like, thank you, God, for the lesson. I appreciate it. I'm going to allow it. I'm going to take my time and really think about what I'm supposed to learn here, right? And I just have that mantra in my head of whenever someone triggers me, I go back to that space. I go back to that place, and I tell myself that, rather than allowing the energy just to run rampant and getting mad and frustrated and be like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe you would say that, right? And so just allowing for peace for a minute, giving yourself time to align with spirit when you get triggered, aligning with your angels, aligning with Allah or whoever you call above that is your higher power, and really aligning with that energy and like taking your time before responding, you know, taking your time. And I know Mars is squaring Uranus, so you're like, I want to respond right now. And it's like, you're just triggered, right? This is like triggering energy of like, you aren't going to tell me what to do. I'm going to tell you how to live. And so just watch this so much, you guys. Like, watch this energy so much today. And especially with Mars getting closer to Saturn, we're going to feel like these blocks from our parents, blocks from the government, blocks from people that is just going to be like, oh my God. Okay. So just learn the lesson. Right? Learn the lesson, because here's the thing, guys. If you don't learn the lesson, it's going to happen to you the next day. and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and then pretty soon you're gonna go like, oh my God, like I'm having the worst time. This energy is killing me. What the fuck is happening? I'm purging all the time and letting go. And it's like, baby girl, baby boy, what is the lesson we're learning here? Don't tap into that. Don't tap into that, all right? And I'm telling you guys, where we are headed, you gotta learn these lessons. I'm telling you, when Saturn gets into Pisces, we're gonna feel like, where's the divine? Where's God? Where is it? Okay? Because we're gonna feel like it's not there for about 18 months, all right? So we really got to learn to have this alignment, because when it comes, people are gonna be in such fear, especially in 2023. It's the number 7, guys, about spirituality. Spirituality is going to be blocked, and people are going to be like, where is spirit? Where is God? Where is the Galactic Federation of Light? All right? Where are these beings that are supposed to help us? And I want to tell you the difference between, got this download, the difference between the Galactic Federation of Light and God is God wants to teach you to fish. He wants to teach you to fish. The divine wants to teach you to fish so you can be a fisherman. The Galactic Federation of Light wants to save you and not teach you to fish, if they're even real. I don't know. I've met Jesus. I know Jesus is real. You know, I've seen him on the other side. I've died. And so I know he's real. I know the spiritual realm very well, because I lived on it for over 2 weeks, I think. But I want to tell you guys that if somebody was to save you, you got to ask yourself, why aren't you saving me? Why aren't you saving me? Right? When God comes into your heart, he gives you peace. He gives you understanding. He gives you love through the circumstance that you're going through, right? He's like a child where we're like children, where he's like, hey, I got you. I will help you. But you got to walk through it yourself. All right? You got to walk through it yourself. And so really understand that, all right? Really understand that you got to walk through it yourself. And God is a loving God that wants to teach you to fish, just like Jesus did when he was here. He's not going to teach you by saying, I'm going to come save you. He's like, no, I'm going to teach you how to save yourself. And so that's why we're going through all of this stuff. Alba says, so 2023 is going to be rough for the collective. Yes. It's a number 7 year, which represents spirituality. And yes, 2023 is going to be a very hard for the collective. But I don't want you guys to focus on like, oh my God, 2023 is going to be so hard for the collective. Grow spiritually, okay? Grow spiritually and stay present and letting go. Because when 2023 comes, you're not going to even be like, it's not going to even hit you. All right? It's not going to even hit you. And I promise you, if you guys start learning spirituality, and I'm not talking about spiritual matrix, if you guys start learning how to really tap into the divine when you're having issues and problems right in the moment, when 2023 comes, it's going to be like cakewalk. Okay, it's going to be cakewalk. But everyone that hasn't learned this process is going to be getting a spanking in the butt in 2023. Okay, so 2022 is really about coming to love with yourself, with the divine, and with others, and learning how to express that and letting go. All right, so I'm going to see what my book has for me to say. Put on your armor of God. Yes, Wendy. Yes, Rebecca. Put on the armor of God. Ooh. Okay, I don't know if I've read this one. It's called Water Walking. Yes, come, said Jesus said. So Peter went over to the side of the boat and walked on the water towards Jesus. Maybe I just need to read this again. So when Jesus came walking across the stormy sea in the darkness of night, Peter was the only disciple who had the courage to walk on water to him. This is the year of 2023, okay? One can imagine that the other disciples saying, Peter, it's too dangerous. You could drown. But when Jesus told him to come, Peter stepped out into the unknown and walked on the water. He showed that although it was familiar, is so comfortable, what you're used to, how you were raised, the job you've had for years, it can keep you from your destiny, the promised land. Don't let your comfort keep you from getting out of the boat and becoming who you were created to be. For every major victory and significant accomplishment in our lives is we've had to step into the unknown. So will you. You can't play it safe your whole lives. Reach the fullest to your destiny. Don't let the what ifs talk you out of it. What if we fail or they say no? You'll never know unless you try. What God has in store for you, that your future together with your family is going to boggle your mind. The places he's going to take you, the people you're going to influence, the dreams you're going to accomplish is going to be bigger than you've imagined. You know where it is. It is the unknown. And I love that so much, you guys, because I will tell you, if I listen to everyone talking to me about like the streets are so bad of Sacramento, like you're gonna get hit, you're gonna get shot, that there's so many gangs out there, you can't go knocking on doors with pimps that have guns. And I'm like, watch me, okay? Where we are headed, you got to have such big angel wings and such a big shield that you have around you, that you are so protected that nothing can shift you, nothing can shape you. And the voice of God is so in tune with you that you know where to go at every moment of the day, okay? Every moment of the day, even if your tire pops or anything bad happens, like I always tell you guys, whenever I go on vacation, there's something that happens, and so just because of that, I align with that energy and I'm like, okay, God's saving me from something, okay, this isn't happening, okay, right? And so always stay in that. Know when things aren't happening, or even if you get in a car accident or you're sick or ill, the divine is like, hey, I need you to come back to me, so that way if you're sick, I can talk to you, I can feed you, I can love you when you're all alone. And so sometimes things happen to us because the divine is calling us back to grow, all right? 2020, when we all had to stay in lockdown, we learned how to love. We learned how to love our neighbors. We learned about loving our children, having patience. And so do you guys see this is happening? Are you guys getting the drift here? We're getting spiritually groomed right now. Do you guys see this? Am I the only one that sees this spiritual awakening that's happening, and how Aquarius season and Aquarius is we're being stripped from this? Does anyone else see this? Am I speaking to myself here in regards to all of this awakening that is happening? Because you guys, you have to understand that, okay? You have to understand that. And Trish had this amazing thing she posted in a group. Stop looking at what other people are doing, okay? Focus on yourself. Focus on your own growth. Focus in your own lane, and stop looking at other people and their growth. God will grow you when you're ready. God will grow you when he feels like the enemy can't come and attack you and you're going to be taken down. All right? So really focus on you instead of looking at everyone else and saying, oh my God, they have a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a Maserati, and I'm driving a Honda Civic. And then stop looking over here and go, oh my God, they have 5 million followers and I only have 1,000. What are they doing? I know more than they do. So stop looking around and really focus on yourself, okay? Because God has designed you for a purpose, even if it's just to only touch one person. That's it. If you touch one person in this life, you did what you came here to do, okay? Yes. Agnes says, we get there, we need this in divining timing. Yes, for sure. Yes, for sure. Someone wrote me a question. Do you think the grid is going to go down in cyber attack? I want to tell you this, you guys. Do you think the grid is going to go down? I want to tell you this. Stop putting that out to the collective, okay? I know a lot of spiritual people are doing that right now, and it's not spirituality. That's fear. That is fear, okay? Because they're also saying, they're not being in the present moment. They're looking towards the future of I need to plan, right? And that's not standing in spirit. That's not standing in God. That's not standing in faith. That is standing in a place of, what if this happens? And I'll tell you guys, I did this. I literally, I told you guys, I spent $100,000 getting food, trees, lemon trees, dog food. I still have tampons stored up for 12 years, okay? Did it shut down in 2012? Did anything happen? No, business as usual, okay? So I want to tell you, The divine won't do anything that will hurt, harm, or destroy us that we're not ready for. Do I feel like we're ready for the grid to be shut down? No, not at all. Not the time that we're living in. That, if it does, it's definitely not going to be for a long period of time, because God does things to wake us up. He's like this, okay? Give you example. When the pipeline shut down, I told everybody, I said, take this as a warning that gas prices are going to go up and you need to start looking at different cars. Take this as God's warning that you need to start looking at other cars, okay? God gives us warnings. He doesn't all of a sudden do something and it's just like, whoa, like shock us all. Like, that's not how he works. He's a loving God. He's like, wake up, guys. I'm giving you little bits and pieces. Wake up. Look at what's happening. I'm telling you to move here. You're getting sick because I'm telling you to tap into me. If you don't, you're going to get even sicker and you're going to end up in the hospital because you're not tapping into me. You're not listening to what I'm telling you. So you got to really stay in your lane and stay in the present moment and don't stand there. Yeah, exactly. And so what I learned from that, Corinne, which is so beautiful, is that cups, and I hate to say this for all you men that are listening, you can put cups inside of yourself and empty them out so you don't even have to use tampons, right? And I don't think they had that when I was when I was buying all my supplies, the supplies that I needed for everything to be shut down. Oh, I even spent $40,000 effing dollars on a freaking solar panel on my house that when the electric grid would be shut down, a Diva cup, yes, Corinne, when the electric grid would be shut down, I would have all the electricity I would need to run my house. Do you guys want to know where that solar panel is today? It's stuck on the same house that I gave it to. I don't even have it in my life, okay? Because as soon as you stick that type of solar panel on a house, it's stuck on that house. And so I want to tell you guys, I've been hearing of this grid shutdown since 2000, okay? We're in 2022. That was 22 years ago. And in 2012, I started preparing because even pastors and everybody were saying you have to prepare for the shutdown. And then God was like, wow, did you just waste all that precious money on preparing for something that I give you stuff that you can see, but you're not having the faith in me. And I was like, and that's when I woke up spiritually of wow, there's a spiritual matrix that is happening. There's a spiritual matrix where we're supposed to learn to have faith, but then we're also supposed to learn to collect all this stuff and gather it without fear. Do you know Jesus, when he was here, you guys, which we're coming to is the Christ consciousness? Just to let you know where we're going to is a Christ consciousness. When he was here, he didn't have, he literally took the clothes on his back and the shoes on his feet, and he traveled all over the world, and people provided for him, just like the birds and the bees and the planet, okay? We are going to come together as a collective and work together. I promise you, your brother and sister are not going to let you die. And those that fall away are going to fall away because they are stuck in the matrix of not working with spirit. All right. They're stuck in the matrix with not working in the spirit to understanding how to really honor spirituality, to really honor Christ consciousness. All right. To honor who Christ is. All right. Because you're going to see even spiritual people fall away because they're not going to have their all their fruits and vegetables that they can get on a daily basis. Okay. We're going to be having to change food into our vitamins with our spirituality. We're not going to be able to go to the local pharmacy and, okay, like me yesterday, can I have a B12 shot, a B6 shot? Oh yeah, can I have just give me the whole cocktail, right? We're not going to be able to do that where we're going, all right? But we don't need to. Here's the good thing, guys. We don't need to. That's the beautiful thing, is our minds are going to grow so much spiritually, and they're going to expand so much that we're not going to need it, which is so beautiful, And so that's where we're headed. And so don't get stuck in this, Don't get stuck in this. Don't get stuck in this trap of fear that's really strong right now on the planet. Demons are also spirits, so be careful of how they present to us. Exactly. So don't live in fear. Yes, and that's the biggest thing, you guys, is tap out of fear. Tap out of fear. Stay in the present moment. Be like children. Whenever you start looking to the future, ask yourself, is this being childlike faith, or is this like looking towards the future and trying to control it? Okay? Get back to that spiritual present moment. Get back to that spiritual space, okay? Like Buddha, who didn't need food. Exactly, Corinne, like Buddha. Exactly. I love that. Rebecca says, who I've seen this, we go underground, but we are so super powerful. Yeah, exactly. We have such super powerful amazingness, but you have to step into that, all right? You have to step into that, all right? And step out of this spiritual matrix. All right, I'm going to pray for us because I think I've been on here for like almost 40 minutes. All right, so I'll pray for us on this beautiful Wednesday. All right. Father God, I just thank you so much for all of our teachers that you have brought in our lives. I thank you for all these spiritual spankings that we are getting right now to really help us grow us and define us. And I want to pray for anybody that is watching this live or watching it in the near future. I want to pray just so much white light, abundance pours upon them, that so much gold light surrounds them and circles them, that they can be so encompassed by your spirit that they can use it today as they walk along this journey, when they're going to feel the fear, they're going to feel optimism, they may feel people come up to them, but they can stand glowing as an angel. They can stand glowing in light and not standing in that fear, not nitpicking at other people to try to control a situation, but they can just allow you to take full control over their lives, full control over this situation, full control of who they are, and that you just allow the lessons to come so that they can learn, that they can feel, that they can see you, they can understand, wow, this is a part of me that needs to let go so I can grow spiritually. Thank you for bringing us people like Buddha and Jesus and all these amazing gurus that came before us to teach us the lessons of coming into the age of Aquarius, to letting go of this Pisces, this delusion that we've been living in. And can we have more faith in you today so that we can grow spiritually? And may we not look at our brothers and sisters in judgment or jealousy of what we don't have, but be thankful for everything we do have, from the hair on our head, from the food we get to eat every day, to the hot shower we get to take, to the feet that we get to land on the ground to feel the beautiful sand in between our toes. We thank you, Father, for everything we do. And I just want to say a prayer for Ukraine, that you can picture yourself right now in this now moment, hugging somebody in Ukraine and maybe even a Russian soldier, and just let them know. Imagine you hugging them, a virtual hug, hugging them and saying, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Thank you for being a soldier. Thank you for being here and raising your heart in this now moment of this fear that you're feeling for the collective. Thank you for what you're doing right now. And I love you and I appreciate you and I thank you. And I just want to send you so much love and knowing that everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to work out in divine timing, and giving that person such a big hug, wiping that tear off their face and say, you're beautiful and thank you for everything you're doing. And so I just want to pray for everyone on the earth plane that is having anxiety and worry, knowing that God is stripping us right now, stripping us of all the things that we're trying to control. And so we're learning that right now. We're learning that right now, and it's coming in different forms for everybody. So I want to pray for everybody on the earth plane, everybody that's having this fear-mongering feeling. Just let it go. Let it go and let God come into your heart. So I'm sending everyone so much love, so much light on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. And thank you everyone for buying badges. I know times are tough, and so I appreciate you all that just take a little bit of time to do that. So I love you guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. Bye guys.